Oh, this what they've been waiting on? Ha ha ha! It's the Gringo and Tom Show! Let's go! It's the Gringo and Tom Show, y'all ready to go? Late night sports talk, y'all ready to go? Gringo be hitting his points. Tom coming in and he won't disappoint. They be swinging for the fences and striking you out. Yeah. Now let's see what this is all about. Let go. It's the Gringo and Tom Show, y'all ready to go? It's the Gringo and Tom Show, y'all ready to go? Ready to go, River ready to go. It's the Gringo and Tom Show, y'all ready to go? Hey, It's starting right about now.
All right, there we go. We are starting the third episode of the Gringo and Tom Show. My name is Gringo, and got my boy over here,
Tom. What's up?
There we go. All right, we are diehard Yankees fans, as you can see. Tom, what jersey you have on today?
Got my Jeter, my classic. It's going to be mirrored, of course, but
Classic Derek Jeter. I love it. I love it. Today, got straight out of the Bronx.
Hey, fire look.
We are repping Yankees today on a Friday. Amazing.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Amazing. How many days till opening day? Is it a week, right? Or less than a week, actually. There we go. Less than a week till opening day. I'm so ready.
Dude, I'm hyped. Couldn't be any more hyped.
Let's get it. All right. Let's start off with storylines of the week. All right.
Let's bring it.
Davy Garcia, option to AAA. First thoughts about that, Tom?
You know, I think this was bound to happen. He got bounced around against a good Blue Jays team. They put out their best lineup, and they squared him up. His stuff wasn't looking that good. I heard he was having trouble with this fastball. He was throwing it way too high. His curveballs weren't breaking the way he wanted them to. Aaron Boone just said he thought it was for the best, and I think it is for the best. I mean, you want to ramp him up slowly, and the only way you're going to be able to ramp him up slowly is by bringing him to the alternate site. Well, AAA, sending him down, that's the best way to do it. They're going to be able to monitor his innings, help him stay where he needs to be. I'm feeling good about him still. But that means, as we know, Mingo's got to step up. He's going to be the fifth starter, and I think Domingo Germán.
Just let me into that.
Yeah,
dude. Basically, that signifies that Domingo Germán will be the fifth starter for the Yankees. He's going to be the fifth starter. With Davy, he's what, 21, 22 years old?
Yeah,
and
he's my age.
He's our age, yeah.
Yeah, your age too.
I feel like with him, we saw what he did in August. He was, you saw him doing really well on August of last year. And sometimes you saw, with the inconsistencies, especially that Boston game where it just went out of control, left out.
Oh yeah.
Inning. He still needs some work, and we got to think about it like this. There's been a good amount of our pitching stars that have been in AAA, AA for what, 3, 4, 5, 6 years plus, and you gotta take your time in developing them. That's exactly what you got to do.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Germán, we got to see, especially last year. He wasn't there last year. Let's see what happens this year. And all the demons that he had to fight last year, with some bickering, some comments from Britain during spring training. And he really stepped up in spring training. Let's see what he can bring during the season.
Oh, yeah. He had to have a good spring training in order to get everybody on the clubhouse to at least respect him a little bit. So that's step one. He's going to get further and further away from this. It wasn't good. It wasn't pretty, but he's just got to produce on the field. And step one's complete. I think he's, as you said, Davy Garcia being in AAA, I think that's going to be good for him. He needs a little bit more time to develop. He had some good stretches last year. He got a little fatigued near the end, I thought. And having him in AAA is going to be good for him. To be able to control him.
100%, 100%. All right, so that is our first storyline of the day today.
Heck yeah.
Our second point that we're going to talk about, second storyline, is Jay Bruce. So he put in the option to notify the Yankees 48 hours, give them 48 hours, that in that timetable, the Yankees have a decision. Will they keep him or will they say adios to him? What do you think? The crystal ball of Tom. What do you think? Gut reaction. What do you think will happen to Jay Bruce for the Yankees?
I think that Jay Bruce he's gonna want out. I mean, they can't say with confidence that he's gonna make the team. They might trade Talkman. I actually think that Talkman is going to leave. That's going to be our next part. We're going to talk about that a little bit, but I think that Jay Bruce is going to be out. I think another team's going to want him, even though he's one of like a million these days. There's so many guys who could just like hit home runs, not really do anything else well. Like he just hits home runs. That's pretty much what he does. But dude, it's kind of a bummer. Like you could just dream on that Yankee Stadium short porch.
Oof.
Bruce bombs. You could dream on it, but alas, I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's out. Just like probably Derek Dietrich. There's a couple other guys who are in the same boat. There's like Robinson Chirinos. He's going to stay because he's hurt. Joyce Jacine. We don't know what's going to happen with him, but I don't
He's
want
done.
Yeah.
Adios. Goodbye.
Sis-
Stats were terrible. We went over that last episode. Just really bad stats. He is definitely not going to be with the Yankees.
Yeah, dude. On a side note, Adam Warren, fan favorite of mine, he's probably going to stay. He had the option to opt out, but I think he's going to end up staying. He's probably going to go to AAA because he's hurt right now, and he's just going to take some time to rehab. Hopefully, he can be in the Yankees at some point.
He's a veteran. He's a veteran. He knows what it takes in terms of October. He's been with us. Obviously, he went to Chicago, then he came back, developed some stuff, had a really bad time, with his pitching mechanics.
Oh, yeah.
And now, he's willing to come back, keep him in AAA, get him rest up, and hopefully, get him ready at some point to help us out, contribute for the team.
One last thing about Warren. Yeah, you're totally right about that. But one last thing about Warren that I think is hilarious.
Sure.
He's got like a 2 point something or a low 3 ERA as a Yankee, but with everyone else he's got like a 6. He's been total trash with everybody but the Yankees.
What other teams has he been besides the Cubs? What other team? I don't remember.
He was with the Padres as well, and he was bad with them.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Wow.
I think he needed Tommy John at some point too.
Yeah.
Where he is now, he's still rehabbing from that, trying to get back. So yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Hey. Yeah.
But yeah, in short, I think Jay Bruce, sayonara. He's out of there.
There you go.
He's old news.
Which brings us to our hot take of the week. And today, folks, it'll be Tom with his hot take. Let's hear it, Tom.
Yeah, dude. So I just mentioned how Talkman's going to be traded. I think it's likely. But I think he's going to be traded to the Chicago White Sox.
The White Sox?
Yeah, dude.
You heard it here first.
He's out to Chicago, bro. He's out there.
Tom is predicting Talkman to the White Sox.
It's a prediction.
Now, I know why you're saying this. The Eloy Jimenez situation.
Yeah.
Out for the year. That was just, like, when I heard that, I was like, that's like, obviously Tim Anderson is like the heart and soul of the team.
Yeah, dude.
Tim Anderson's here. Eloy's the Robin to Batman. And literally, just like, boom, that's it. He's out for the year.
Dude, it's a big blow. It's a big blow. I know he didn't do that much with them last year and the year before, but dude, this kid's got so much talent. He's got power to the moon. I think he had the most opposite field barrels of anybody last year, which is awesome because you need a lot of power to hit a barrel opposite way. The one thing was that the rest of his game, besides the hitting, was slow to catch up, but he was improving. It's just a tough break for a young White Sox team that was really looking to challenge the Yankees as the best team in the American League. Now it looks like the Yankees are kind of all alone, that high tier.
Unless the Twins, they somehow get their pitching going. That's all I see. But
I'm a big Twins believer.
Let's leave it for Monday's podcast where we'll talk about predictions. for the playoff picture. We're
Don't
gonna see
sleep.
what
Don't
happens
sleep
with
on
that.
those Twinkies, bro. Those Twinkies,
Ooh,
they can do
mm,
damage. Kenta Maeda,
yes,
he's nasty. Don't sleep
yes,
on him.
yes, without a doubt. Which brings us to the pitching rotation discussion. We are now headed to the pitching rotation of the New York Yankees. We're first going to mention, oh yeah, clap it up, clap it up.
Yeah, yeah,
Pitching
yeah.
rotation for
Because
the
there's
Yankees.
a lot of good stuff here.
Yeah, here we go.
Exciting stuff.
That's right, that's right. So, the projected pitching rotation, according to Roto Champ, I'm going to name out the players. We got Garrett Cole at the top, number 2, Kluber, Talion, third, fourth, Monty, Jordan Montgomery, aka Gumby, which I didn't understand
Nah,
that
nah.
nickname at first.
Get out of here with that Gumby stuff.
I had a discussion with someone on TikTok. What was it like during like the playoff run last year? I was like, why are you calling him Gumby? Like I understood, I saw the picture of the character, but in my head I was just like, he's Monty. He's Monty.
Bro,
But
that's a clown nickname. It's a clown nickname.
that was just bad. And rounding out the rotation is Domingo Herman. So
Bingo.
let's first start off with Cole. Garrett Cole, RotoChamp predicts that he will have 15 wins, 8 losses, an ERA of 3.34. What do you think, Tom?
Dude, I think
Fair?
he's doing better than that. I think that's fair, but he's doing better than that. My guy Garrett Cole, he got a little unlucky with the home runs last year. He gave up a lot of home runs in 2019, but if he can go back to what he did in 2019 with the home runs, phew,
Oof.
he's probably second best pitcher in all of baseball. He probably is, as we speak, second best pitcher in all of baseball. I am hyped to see what my boy Garrett Cole can do. His fastball looks as nasty as ever. He's hitting 100 in spring. His curveball looks better than last year. Sign me up, dude. Sign me up for the under on that ERA. The over on
100%.
those wins.
100%. 100%. What is your prediction in terms of his ERA? What do you think?
I would say he's probably going to have around a 3. Probably right around 3. Probably 3 to 3.10, which is really good. You got to consider the league average ERA in 2019, I think 2020 as well, 4.5.
Inflated, ballooned.
It's crazy because of all the home runs, man.
That's a conversation that we're gonna have in the future. But in terms of the baseballs being juiced, I feel like they're gonna be juiced even more now.
Yeah, they said they're deadening the baseball, but I've heard stories around the league saying that that's just a load of garbage. I kind of agree with it. I think it's a load of garbage. I don't think they're actually deadening them. I think they're going to be just as juiced as they have been because they want to make the money with all the home runs happening, man.
Especially with the revenue coming in.
People want to see it.
Younger fan base. We need
Chicks dig the long ball, bro.
The average fans' age for baseball is about I think about 54 or 55 years old. That's the average age for a fan of baseball.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that. We have to start getting the youth involved. But yet again, that's a conversation for another day.
It is. It's a fun one. But we'll have that at some point. Good stuff. Good stuff.
So they also predict, now we're going to head to the number 2 spot of the rotation. Corey Kluber, 9-7 with a 4.12. What do you think?
I think that's probably one of the most tough to it's the toughest to predict. Him and the next one, Tyone, they're tough to predict because they're so good, but they're coming off of 2 years without pitching. That's a long time.
Like
2 years.
Complete question marks.
The history surrounding guys who have come off of 2 years without pitching is not great. But I think Corey Kluber is a different story. He's the guy. He doesn't rely on velocity, and that's already a big step in the right direction. He's looked kind of shaky in the spring. His last outing against the Tigers, he was walking guys. The Tigers don't walk. And if you look at the pitches he threw, they were way all over the place. I think he's going to be okay, He's just looking a little rusty because 2 years, that's a long time. But I think I take the under on the ERA. I think he has like a 3.9,
That's fair
maybe a
enough.
3.8.
That's how I have it as myself too.
I think he'll be
Three,
around there.
yeah.
But
And
innings pitched, probably the under. Probably the under. I think he's probably going to hit like 100, 110.
the thing with him though is he's probably going to be on restriction. He's
Right.
going to be on
That's what I'm
restriction.
saying.
So
Yeah.
that's why I feel like we're going to eventually have a 6-man rotation. Not now, maybe like in at the end, like after the All-Star break. That's what it's going to
It's
go.
possible. It's
Yeah.
definitely possible because like they got so many off days in the beginning of the season. They're just gonna abuse that and use that kind of like to give extra rest. But you're right. I think they could go to a 6-man rotation, especially with all the options they got. It's a good idea because they got all those guys who are a little injury prone and they need to be eased into things.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Now we have Talion.
Yep.
They predict 8 wins, 7 losses, and a 4.40 ERA.
7 losses. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like with this situation with him, he's another question mark, obviously.
Oh yeah.
But I really liked what he's done in spring training, the work that he's put in. Um, it seems like he's more motivated now because he made the transition from Pittsburgh, worst team in the National League, now to a winning team. Now to a winning team. He has his battery mate. He has his best friend Garrett Cole, and
Yeah, that's a big deal.
that that could motivate anyone to come back better than ever. And I feel like the wins and losses, like obviously with the Yankees hitting, that's gonna be up to what happens during the games. But in terms of the ERA, I'm thinking maybe like a 4.20, 25-ish. What I'm thinking, more or less. But yeah, he's still a big question mark.
No, you're 100% right. I think just like with Kluber, it's tough to know because it's been a while since he's pitched. And he has a new elbow, so that's even more uncertainty. But his velocity's slowly going back up. It was pretty low in the beginning of spring training, but it's going up as we're getting further. That's a good sign. I would just say that maybe don't expect the best out of him out of the gate. I think he'll probably, if anything, he'll be a little rusty in the beginning. But then I think as the season goes on, you're going to start to see him improve. Just like with Kluber, they're probably going to start off a little shaky. But that's okay.
One thing to note is he went from Pittsburgh now to the pitching against the American League East. That's a big thing as well.
That is a little tough.
The Blue Jays young hitters, the Rays scrappy hitters, the Red Sox, they have
They're always a good
hitters
offense.
themselves. Rafael Devers, Verdugo. The Orioles, they have a couple of pop hitters as well.
Got Trey Mancini.
Back. Yes,
that guy's a beast.
This is going to be a really big test for him. And, if he does what he's supposed to do, then we're going to be in a good spot. He's going to be in a good spot for the team.
You make a good point, dude. There's a lot of good hitters in the AL East, a lot of tiny ballparks.
Yes.
It's a big test for him. We saw Garrett Cole have a little bit of trouble with that, but I think he's going to be fine. I think Tyon's going to figure it out. He's got a lot of good things going for him. He said that his arm has felt the best that it's felt in like his whole career, which is great. That's a great sign. Like you always want to hear that from a guy, especially since he said that he changed his delivery because his old delivery like ruined his elbow. And the Yankees are working to try and get more velocity out of him. They're trying to get him to throw the fastball more up in the zone. So I think you might see a different pitcher than he was with Pittsburgh. It's exciting. I think the sky's the limit, but also just don't expect him to be great right away.
No.
It might take time. But
Great
I take
point.
the under on that ERA. I say, that's a tough one. I'd say maybe like right around 4. He might have a little bit of trouble in the beginning, though. Definitely.
Great. All right. So, our fourth in the rotation is Monty himself, Jordan Montgomery.
My boy.
There we go. So they predict 7 wins, 7 losses, so even 500 with a 4.20. So, would you like to go first?
Oh,
Or
without a
yeah?
doubt. That's a
Okay,
load
great.
of that that
Yeah.
that's a load of garbage.
Load of garbage.
It's
Okay,
a load of
explain.
garbage.
Yeah.
It's a load of garbage because I know he had a 5 ERA last year, but he was one of the best pitchers in baseball at limiting exit velocity. No one could square this
Mm.
guy up, and he got super duper unlucky. I think with runners on base, he gave up a lot of really weak hits that he shouldn't have given up, and if he didn't give those up, his ERA would have looked better. His strikeouts were up a bit. Home runs were not too bad. He didn't walk anybody. That's always something he's been good at, which is awesome because he throws a lot of curveballs. So you wouldn't expect a guy who throws that many curveballs to not walk guys. He's just got so many good things going for him, and he's throwing harder this spring. Dude, I am pumped. I think he's going to be really, really good this year.
You
I
know
really think so.
who he reminds me of?
Who's he remind you of?
Andy Pettit.
Everybody says that.
That
I couldn't
demeanor.
agree more.
I've heard it. I've heard it a million. I've heard it a million times with him. He just has that demeanor, especially during that game 4 of the ALDS. Like, I knew it. I knew it. He had it in his bones where he was just like, I'm trying to get the Yankees to the next game. He just has something in him.
He's a bulldog.
Yes,
He's a
without
literal
a doubt,
bulldog, bro.
without a doubt. So I feel like obviously, the ERAs usually these last couple of years have been averaged around 4 for about a couple of years. So I feel like that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. 4.20.
I say that's a fair starting point. It's
Yes,
a load of
yes,
garbage in my opinion, but it's a fair starting
yes,
point
yes.
considering what he's done
Without a
lately.
doubt. Without a doubt.
But I
So,
think he's going to do way better than that.
oh, of course, and it's gonna be more of a learning curve for him as well in terms of the fact that now he has to go back to the routine of going 162 games because last year, before that, he had Tommy John surgery. So now we'll see what's going on with his arm and if it can last a full season.
Oh, dude, he said something about that the other day. They interviewed him in spring training, and he's like, I haven't felt like myself for like a year and a half. This is the first time I felt like myself. I'm throwing harder than ever. I'm like, ooh.
Oh,
You're
that's some
feeling like
great news
yourself
right
now?
there.
You were pretty good last year. I mean,
Wow.
minus the bad luck. I'm hyped. Sky's the limit. He could emerge as the number 2 starter on this team. I think so.
Wow. Okay.
He's
Here that
underrated.
another hot take from Tom today. There
I
we
am
go.
high on this guy, dude.
Woo!
He's got so much helium. You know Eduardo Rodriguez on the Red Sox?
Yes.
They're basically the same pitcher. They're kind of the same pitcher. Not basically. They're kind of the same pitcher.
The only thing with Eduardo is Eduardo's a little bit more wild.
He is a little bit more wild. They
Yeah.
actually shut him down. Dude, he's hurt. The Red
Really?
Sox are in trouble. He's been
In more
shut down
trouble
with
than they
like dead
actually
arm.
are? In more
Yo,
trouble than they actually are? Because that's a and
it's
Beantown's not
sad.
looking good.
It's
Beantown's
sad.
hasn't been looking good these last couple of years. Tom Brady leaving,
Oh man.
Mookie Betts leaving. Oh no. Just
Hey man, at least they
the
got
end of an era.
even the Celtics, dude.
Oh. Kyrie leaving.
Yo,
Just don't even get me started. Al Horford leaving. Everybody
it
leaving.
is a
Everybody
joke,
leaving.
bro.
We'll,
I
we'll
feel for the
eventually.
Boston fans.
We'll
Actually, I don't
eventually.
feel it. They can
No,
suffer. They've had enough
no.
championships.
They suffered for 86 years. Now they're getting a little bit of their
Yeah,
look
you could
back.
suffer. You've had enough
Yeah,
Super
let them
Bowls,
suffer again.
all that.
I love Red Sox fans. I appreciate them, but I just have to bash you right now, just for this time right now.
Oh, I don't love Red Sox fans,
Well, I got to appreciate them because
but I appreciate them. That's the
when it
word.
comes to the rivalry, you gotta love the rivalry. So in a sense, you
You
love
love to
the
hate them,
fact.
right?
Yes, yes, yes,
I feel you
100%.
there.
Yes, 100%.
Feel you
Okay,
there, bro.
so now we will finish the starting rotation for the Yankees projected by RotoChamp.com with Domingo Herman, They predict another 7 wins, 7 losses. Obviously, wins and losses.
7-7. That's their number. That's the number right there.
With an ERA of 4.46. So I'm going to defer it to you, Tom. What do you think about the ERA?
So right around league average, it looks like they're expecting. I mean, ooh, he is so up and down. I think 2019 was pretty much the Domingo Herman experience. He was awesome in the first half. I said to my friend, he looks like the
Plateaued.
next Severino, and he's like, nah, dude, he's gonna hit a wall because there's a couple things that he's got going for him. There's a couple things he really doesn't have going for him, but that makes him exciting. So, a few things real quick going for him. His stuff is amazing. It's like off the charts amazing. His curveball is one of the best pitches in all of baseball. His fastball's not too bad either. Good changeup. His stuff's ridiculous. Another good thing, he's pretty durable. I mean, he doesn't really get hurt. He hasn't pitched for 2 years, but he has proven that he's pretty durable. Despite some, I think he had some injuries before he came to the Yankees, but he's proven to be durable. That's another good thing. He doesn't walk as many guys as you'd expect. That's one last good thing about him. And that brings me to some of his negatives. He doesn't walk guys, but he's wild. He's wild in the strike zone. When he's bad, he gets hit. And if he ever wants to take that next step up, he's going to need to locate that curveball a little bit better. I've seen him throw a few too many curveballs. They break a lot, but they break and they end up right down the middle and they're home runs. He's got to stop doing that. That's usually a sign that he might be fatiguing. He might be overthrowing. A little bit too amped up, too much in the moment. There's a few things going on in his head that I think that might get better as he gets a little bit older and pitches in more big games. So who knows? I think that some of those negatives could turn into positives. We just have to see. Just have to see. I think he could be a pretty good fifth starter. I think the ERA projection's valid. I think he's going to be right around there. He's just really inconsistent.
Yeah. I remember, especially in 2019, when he, like, after the All-Star break, what happened was his ERA inflated. I remember it was like, I think that the beginning of September, it inflated all the way to like a 4.65 or something. He ended up with a 5 ERA with like about 14, 15 wins. And I'm just like, wow, that's crazy. That's insane.
Oh my gosh.
But two things to note about him, though. From the 4th inning to like the 6th inning, so the points where, he gets a little bit into the game, the
Third
middle
time
of
through the order, right?
third
Yeah.
time through the order, yes.
Mm-hmm.
His ERA is like through the roof.
Yup.
Like about 4, I think it's like 4.5 or like a 5 ERA.
Sounds about right.
And what happens during those innings, though, he gets fatigued, obviously, which leads to him leaving pitches in the middle of the zone. And when that happens, Yankee Stadium, August, the dog days of summer,
hot weather, ball carry.
hot weather, pitch not located, boom, 4-0. 4-0, 7-4, 3-run home run, barrage. And we have to get the bullpen. So I feel like with Herman, that's fair. And hopefully he doesn't, it's not like 4.46 more than that, but I think it's going to be maybe 4.50 to about 4.55 around there. So a little bit higher than the projected.
I think he'll be a little bit lower. I think he's a little bit better than league average. I think, the exact moment that he lost it, because you were right, in September he got absolutely shelled in 2019. The exact moment he lost it, this game he pitched against the Oakland A's, I think he gave up like 4 home runs in the game. 3 or 4. It was a lot. That's the moment I'm like, oh no, he's done. He's cooked. And you're right, the fatigue gets him. Every time he got through the 3rd time through the order in those, especially in those later of the year outings, he was just getting wrecked. So we'll see what happens to him this year. I think he fatigues a little down the stretch. But if the Yankees start to see that, they're probably going to plug in someone else. They're going to go with
Davey or Michael King, depending on how they're doing in AAA.
My boy Michael King did not do well yesterday.
Mm-mm.
The Phillies ate him for lunch. Oh, it was ugly.
Sheesh.
It was ugly. I think he gave up 6 runs,
Oof.
couple home runs. Didi hit a home run against him. He looked bad.
Not good.
Yeah,
Not
so
good at
he
all.
needs some time in AAA for sure. But he's got good
Oh, without
stuff.
a doubt.
I
But
gushed about him last time. He got wrecked. We saw the good, the bad, and the ugly from him this spring.
one thing that we can both agree on is the fact that Davy Garcia is, in terms of his development, he is more developed than King, without a doubt.
I think it's tough to say actually, because I think King's like working on stuff. I think you're right though, because he's got the poise and he's got more talent to start than King, and it just carries him so far because
That's what I was going to ask you.
yeah,
Who do you think has more potential? Who do you think has more potential? That's my
definitely
question. Who do you think
definitely
has more
Garcia,
potential going down the road?
definitely Garcia because he's got that extension on his fastball and his breaking ball too, and it just
Here's
makes him so much tougher to hit.
something to note, which I just thought of right now. King reminds me of Jabba Chamberlain in the sense, not with his velocity and stuff like that, but just more or less. I think he's gonna eventually end up in the bullpen. That's what I think. He's
I
gonna
think
eventually
so
end
too.
up in the bullpen.
I think so too. Because Clark Schmidt's still there. I think he ends up being a starter. I think who else they got? I think him and King and Nick Nelson are gonna end up in the bullpen. Like I feel like he's gonna pitch in the bullpen and he's gonna be really good. And the
He's gonna
Yankees
be
are just
lights
gonna be
out.
like he's gonna be
Lights
like
out.
Chad Green. They're gonna be
Yes.
like, oh, you're sticking in the bullpen. His slider's nasty. That looks
Disgusting.
like a bullpen pitch, but I hope he becomes a starter. I just think that he could be. It wouldn't shock me if he ends up just being a dominant
Without a
bullpen
doubt.
arm. Yeah, that's a good thought. I really think that's a possibility.
100%. Well, with that, we have gone over the pitching rotation projections for the New York Yankees.
Good rotation.
Really good rotation.
It's top 5 in baseball.
I
Most
was
people don't know
about to
that.
say that.
It
Top
definitely
5,
is.
without a doubt. So before we leave you guys, today we're going to do a Today in Baseball History, March 26th. In 1951, during a spring training game against the University of South Carolina at Boulevard Field, Mickey Mantle, 19-year-old Mickey Mantle, batting left-handed,
A
hits
legend.
a home run off of there we go. Tom, 650 feet, where he hit the crease of Yankee Stadium, old Yankee Stadium, before the renovations. Nuts.
Dude, it's absolutely nuts. That is sick.
19 years old. 19-year-old Mickey Mantle. Imagine if he would have done that during his prime.
I really wish I could have seen. If we could get a time capsule, tell Mickey Mantle to not trip over that sprinkler, would have been a top 5, maybe even a top 3 baseball player all time. He had that talent, dude.
You think he would have surpassed Ruth?
It's tough to say. I don't really think so. I think he would have definitely. Let's see.
Maybe Sammy Sosa's territory, 660?
I think so. I think 660. Because look at Trout. Everybody says Mike Trout is Mickey Mantle. I think
100%.
Trout's going to hit 600. I really think he is. So I think Mickey would have hit 600. And Mickey, he had the stolen bases too. A beast.
Oh, yes, without a doubt. That was before we really thought of those statistics. He really just put it on there, showed out, as they say. He
amazing.
showed out.
Just a dominant player through and through.
Well, with that, we say goodbye for episode 3 of the Gringo and Tom Show. We're not going to leave you guys with it was a blast. We are going to leave you guys with our theme song. Here we go.
Let's do it.
Oh, this what they've been waiting on? Ha ha ha! It's the Gringo and Tom Show. Let's go. It's the Gringo and Tom Show. Y'all ready to go? Late night sports talk. Y'all ready to go? Gringo be hitting his points. Time coming in and he won't disappoint.
Nah.
They be swinging for the fences and striking you out. Yeah. Now let's see what this is all about.
Let go.
It's the Gringo in Time Show, y'all ready to go? It's the Gringo in Time Show, y'all ready to go? Ready to go, river ready to go. It's the Gringo in Time Show, y'all ready to go? Hey, it's done right about now.